Okay, this is the video version of the instructions for the August 4th, 2020 Beirut explosion, one of the worst explosions in recent memory. I'm going to work my way through this, starting with obtaining the data from the National Earthquake Information Center all the way to the finish, and then the part where you extend it for one of the airports in our area is the on your own part. So here we go. So in the earthquake hazard program website, click on earthquakes. Search the earthquake catalog. Set the basic options to custom and 1.5. Set the date and time to custom. Start date 2020 08 01, all zeros. End date 2020 08 08 23 59 59. Set the geographic region to custom. This may launch the window to draw a box on a map. If it doesn't, you can click this orange bar right here. Zoom in to Beirut. Click the, click this button here to start a rectangle, and then you click in a corner and then it'll expand it down to the right. Get your region that you're going to search. Use this region. Open advanced options. Ignore this stuff. Event type. Explosion. Continue to scroll. So we now open up output options. You're going to choose CSV format. And then click search. And you can see that in Chrome this drops to the bottom here. Hit the arrow, show in folder, and we can see that you've downloaded this query in your downloads folder. Now let's rename it Beirut. Right click. So you're logged in to your ArcGIS Online account. I'm going to go to your content area at the top. So you click new item. You might get a pop-up with a tip. You can close it. We can drag the file right here if you want to. You could go to your downloads folder and just drag it over here, or you could search for it here and just find it in the folder and add it that way. And since I have it open, I'm just going to drag it. Okay, the Beirut file, add CSV as a hosted feature layer. Next. This window is just a summary of all the field names in the table. In other words, you're going to have the field names time, latitude and longitude, and depth. And then if you scroll down, you'll see there's even more. This is all the information about the earthquake, or the explosion in this case. Okay, hit next. And we'll take a look at our settings, latitude and longitude. It all looks good. Now it says here a service named Beirut is already available. Please select a different title. This is because we're all working in the same organization. So what you want to do is give it a new name, and I'd recommend you use your initials. Maybe even use your middle initial to make sure it doesn't duplicate with any other student in our organization. Okay. And then that should fix that problem. There we go. And then the next step is to open Map Viewer and view it. So we notice that we didn't make a map. This step will do it for us. So that brings us to the map. And there's my point. Have mag error show location only. Okay, so we've changed it from mag error to location only, and you see that this dot changed to a black dot now. Then click on options and symbols, and I believe it says to make it a green star with size 50. Okay. So click OK and done. Click Save and name this map Beirut, and then your name. And class period. The tag, just use Beirut. You could even say Beirut Explosion Mag 3.3. That's fine. And I'm going to put this in my first quarter folder in the account. And there we go, it's all saved. So here I've expanded the instructions a little bit so that we can see number 26 here, and that we're about to make specific zones or buffers for damage reports. So within the first 0.5 kilometers, buildings were completely demolished, leveled. 4.8 kilometers, severe damage. 24 kilometers out, windows were destroyed. 60 kilometers out, the explosion was still heard, and 240 kilometers away, a shock wave was still felt. So we have to create these buffers. So zoom in to an area that shows Beirut all the way out to Cyprus, because we saw in the video that the sound was heard out here far away. So this is a good extent. We're going to click on analysis over here. Use proximity. Create buffers. So the first step here, we're just going to leave that alone because that's the data layer that contains the star, the location of Beirut. It's already defaulting to distances for the buffer size. We got to make sure we change our units to kilometers though. And when you enter the buffer sizes, you don't want to copy and paste from the document. I'm going to guess and assume that when we do this, we type it in. Every keystroke is registering as typing code. It's happening in the background in the software, but a copy and paste sometimes just looks like an image. And so none of that carries over. So if anybody's been copying, pasting and not having success, this is probably the reason. So you're going to type in 0.5 space 4.8 space 24.1 space 60 space 240. And it says we can use the default name, but don't do that, because remember, everybody's going to be generating that same name and that'll be a problem. So you want to put your initials at the end of it, and that will make, or make sure, it may default to that, which is fine, but make sure that you have your unique initials at the end. Okay, and then run the analysis. And of course it finished just as I was clicking pause. So this are our buffers, and we can change the color of these. So I'm going to do that right now. Go to change symbol, options for the colors. I just chose one that I thought looked better. And it's already transparent, but you can actually change that transparency and make it a little bit more transparent if you want to, which is fine. You just need enough shading to be able to interpret. And then let's just OK it. And then done. Okay, and I think I'm going to stop the video here for this part and pick up for a second part.